Hey there, second grade. How's everybody doing today? And today, it's that time of the year where I have finished putting up my Lego Christmas tree. You're going to notice at the bottom there is a train, and my train goes around the bottom of my tree. And that is all done thanks to the little star at the top. When I turn it, the train at the bottom goes round and round. So, I'm going to place this Christmas tree made out of Lego right on my shelf to get me in the holiday spirit, because today we are going to be learning something called What's My Rule? And we are going to need one of our MathMat templates that's found in our grade 2 resource pack where we have our sheet protector. Now, this template is found on the back of the Three Little Piggy Banks. So if you find that Three Little Piggy Bank sheet, on the back is the What's My Rule? And you'll see a big rule box and the words in and out. So go ahead and look for that What's My Rule table. Get that little sheet, place it in your sheet protector so that you can use a dry erase marker and get some practice in as we start our video today. So let's get started as I shrink myself into the corner. Today, we are going to be doing grade 2, lesson 3.7. What's my rule? Now, you're going to need your What's My Rule MathMat in the sheet protector. And if you have a number grid, that number grid is going to help you, because we're going to have to do some adding and subtracting. And I know some of you like to use that number grid just to help. So you might want to have that available also. Remember, you can hit that pause button if you haven't found everything that you need for today. So let's get started here. I have a little story. June is 3 years older than Kevin. If Kevin is 7 years old, how old is June? Well, I have a little table, and my table has Kevin on one side and June on the other side. And if Kevin is 7 years old, how old will June be? Now we know that June is 3 years older than Kevin. So how old do you think June will be if Kevin is 7? June is 10 years old. Now I have a rule here. When somebody is 3 years older, we add 3 to their age. So our rule to find June's age is to add 3 to Kevin's age. And we are looking at a unit that is in years. 7 years for Kevin. June is 10 years old. But what would June be? Let's see. If Kevin is 8 years old, how old is June? So now I'm going to write an 8 for Kevin. Kevin is 8. How old would June be? So right next to it, I want to write June's age when Kevin is 8. Well, I know that my rule is plus 3. 8 plus 3. And what does that equal? 9, 10, 11. So June would be 11 years old when Kevin is 8. Well, what if Kevin is 9 years old? So I'm going to write my 9 for Kevin. If Kevin is 9, then I know I have to follow the rule. Add 3 to Kevin's age. And then I will get June's age. 9, 10, 11, 12. 9 plus 3 is 12. So June would be 12. What if Kevin is 10 years old? Well, if Kevin is 10, I know that I have to follow my rule. Add 3 years to Kevin's age. And then I will get June's age. So how many years old is June? 10 plus 3 more is 13. Let's give you a hard one. What if Kevin was 20 years old? Well, the rule still holds true because that's what a rule is. A rule applies to everybody. So when Kevin is 20, I still need to add 3 to Kevin's age. 20 plus 3 more equals June would be 23 years old. This here is called a What's My Rule box. We have an in number and an out number. We started with Kevin and then out popped June's age. Let's take a look at another one. Here you see my table. I have Raisa and Joe. Raisa's age is 7, and then Joe's age is 5. When Raisa is 8, Joe is 6. When Raisa is 9, Joe is 7. Who do you think is older? Is Raisa older or is Joe older? Well, Raisa is older because our bigger numbers are where Raisa's table side is. So all of these numbers are always going to be bigger than Joe's number that goes with it. 8 for Raisa, 6 for Joe. 9 for Raisa, 7 for Joe. 10 for Raisa, this number's going to be less than 10. Now we need to come up with a rule, and a rule works for every problem. 7 blank will equal 5. Do I need to add or subtract if I'm getting smaller? Well, when my answer gets smaller, I'm going to subtract. Take away. How much am I going to take away? Start at 7, take away 1, 2, and I will land at 5. 7, 6, 5. So I subtract 2 to get to 5. Let's see if -2 is our rule. Remember, a rule has to work for everyone. 8 minus 2. 8 minus 2 is 6. That works. Let's see if it still works for the next one. 9 minus 2. 9, 8, 7. It works. What do you think Joe's age will be when Raisa is 10? What's 10 minus 2? Did you get 8? You are correct. And then 15 minus 2. Count backwards 2 times. 15, 14, 13. Now, if you had a number grid or a number line nearby, you can also use that to make some of those hops that you are so good at making. Now, I have to fill in my rule box here, and I know what my rule is. I wrote down my rule on my middle line. My rule was to -2. Subtract 2. So whatever Raisa's age was, we -2, and we ended up with Joe's age. Awesome job. So let's take a look at some of these in-out boxes that we have. Now in your sheet protector, you can go ahead and copy down the numbers that you see. And if you have to hit that pause button, you can always hit the pause while you're copying down those numbers. Notice that we have the rule box. This time our rule box is filled in. We know the answer is, or the rule is +9. But we also have an in column and we have an out column. So we have all of our in numbers and then the out number that goes with it. The in number goes into the rule box. It hits the rule and out pops a brand new number. So my in is what I start with and the out is my answer, or what I finish with after I use the rule. Let's see if we can solve some of these. We know that our rule is +9. Now mathematicians always write the rule real tiny on the center line. 1 + 9. And it equals 10. 1 goes in, +9 more, and out pops the 10. So all we have are little math problems. Let's see. 4 + 9, because that's my rule, equals 13. 6 + 9, 8 + 9, and 5 + 9. Go ahead and hit that pause button and see if you can come up with the missing output for some of our problems. When you're done, press play to see if you got the answers correct. How did you do? 6 + 9 is 15. 8 + 9, 17. And 5 + 9 is 14. And that completes my in-out box. Go ahead and clear off your sheet protector, because this time it's a little bit different. This time we're missing the rule. Wow, the last time we were missing the out boxes, but now we're missing a rule. We have to figure out what our rule is, and a rule has to work for every pair of numbers. So I start at 10, because 10's my inbox. Something happens to the 10, and out pops a 2. Did my outbox get bigger or smaller? As I go from my in to my out, I'm getting smaller. That means I'm going to subtract. So my rule is going to involve subtraction. How much do I have to subtract to start at 10 and then to equal 2? Same thing with 12 and 4. 9 minus a number equals 1. 14 minus a number equals 6. And 8 minus a number equals 8. And all of these answers should be the same, because that will equal our rule. I want you to use your number line or your number grid. See if you can come up with the missing rule for this problem. Press pause while you work it out, and then press the play button when you think you have your answer. After solving all those problems, I found out that my rule is -8. 10 minus 8 equals 2. 12 minus 8 equals 4. 9 minus 8 equals 1. 14 minus 8 equals 6. 8 minus 8 equals 0. The rule works for all of them. Go ahead and clear off your sheet protector, because here's another type of a problem. This time, we're missing the input. That means the in number is missing. But we have our rule. We know that the rule is to take the in number, add 6 to it, and we get the out number. Is our in number or the out number going to be bigger? Well, let's take a look at the one we have done for us. 4 plus 6, that's my rule, equals 10. Which number's bigger, the 4 or the 10? The 10's bigger, so that means my out number is always going to be bigger than the in number it is paired with. Now keep that in mind as we work through some of these problems. So now I'm missing an in box here. I don't have my in number, but I know my rule is plus 6. So I have to think, what number can I start with? That when I add 6, I get 12. Well, the opposite of adding 6 is subtracting 6. So I can think to myself, 12 minus 6. And 12 minus 6 is one of our doubles. The answer is 6. Now I always check my work because that's what mathematicians do. 6 plus 6 equals 12. So now I have another one where I'm missing my inbox, but I know my rule is plus 6. Missing number plus 6 more will give me 9. Well, the opposite of plus 6 is minus 6. So if I know 9 minus 6, I know my missing number. 9 take away 6 is 3. Well, let's make sure our rule works. 3 plus 6 equals 9. It worked. I want you to press that pause button and see if you can solve our last 2 inboxes that are missing. When you're done, press play to see if you are correct. So I got 9 plus 6 equals 15. And I thought to myself, well, 15 minus 6 equals 9. And 9 plus 6 equals 15. And the last one, I got the number 0. 0 plus 6 equals 6. And my thinking in my head was 6 minus 6 gives me that 0. Awesome job. We have one left, and this is a challenge. Notice that this time I'm missing my rule box, I'm missing some in numbers, and I'm missing some out numbers. Wow! Let's see if we can figure out the rule together. Remember that the rule is going to work for every problem. So let's start with our first one. 8 comes into the box, it hits a rule, and out pops 13. Am I getting bigger or smaller when my numbers come out? Well, 13 is bigger than the 8, so that means I am adding. So my rule is going to involve adding. Now the question is, how much do I have to add to the number 8 to get to 13? 8 in the rock, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 5 more times. Now I could have used my number line, I could have used my number grid, I could have used any of my math strategies that I've learned. So my rule for that is plus 5. Now I want to make sure it works for the next one. 4 plus 5. 4 plus 5 equals 9. So our rule is plus 5. All right, second grade. I want you to try and finish this challenge. And when you're done, press that play button again to see if you got it right. Go ahead and hit pause while you find the missing inputs and outputs. All right, let's see. I had 13. My rule is plus 5. 13 plus 5 is 18. For this one, I was missing my inbox, so I thought the opposite of plus 5 is minus 5. 10 minus 5 will give me 5. And 5 plus 5 gives me 10. And then the last boxes were empty because you get to make up your own. I chose the number 2. 2 plus 5 equals 7. Awesome job. All right, second grade. Today we worked with a what's my rule problem that we do in math to help us follow a rule to add and subtract. You're going to get a chance today to practice some what's my rule problems in Seesaw. So go ahead, log on in and begin that activity because I can't wait to see how smart you are. Have a great day.